ladies out there who might not have a husband. Find a husband that knows how to go the 4th mile, right? Initiative. So look at verse 17. After she had filled her pitcher, she came up, meaning up out of the well area. Verse 17, and the servant ran to meet her. By the way, there's a lot of running going on in this chapter. This is not common. People didn't run in Bible times necessarily unless it was for a very, very, very important reason. So when Eliezer saw her and come up with a picture that she's pretty, she's young, Eliezer ran to meet her, ran up to her and said, I don't want to talk, I don't want to look at anybody else. I believe it's you. Okay? He didn't say that. But please let me drink a little water from your pitcher. In verse 18, so she said, drink, my lord. Then she quickly let down her pitcher down to her hand. Normally they either carry them on the shoulder or even up on their head, okay? And gave him a drink. Oh, here it comes, here it comes. Here, it's unfolding. Drink it very slowly, okay? Verse 19, and when she had finished giving him a drink, she said, I will draw water. Now, by the way, she had to go down into the well. The well was probably a hole, a pit. We know that from Joseph's story because he was down in a pit, right? And water didn't flow like we see out here in the springs around here, okay? It took time to fill up jugs and get water out of there. But she, when she had finished giving him a drink, she said, I will draw water for your camels also until they have finished drinking. Now, there are 10 camels. They've been on a trip for a while. Folks, this is going to take some time. Then she quickly emptied her pitcher into the trough, ran back to the well. See, she's running back to the well to draw more water and drew for all 10 of the camels. Now, look at verse 21. Now, wait a minute. Didn't he just got through saying, Lord, the woman I speak to, who lets down her pitcher and gives me a drink of water, then offers to water all 10 of the camels. This is the one. Now, what just happened? What just happened? He asked for a drink. She gave water to him. Then she watered the camels, right? Now, can all of us say, done deal? Oh, wait a minute. Eliezer's just like you and me. Because look at verse 21. And the man, wondering at her, remained silent so as to know whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. That is just like you and I, isn't it? Don't we second guess all the time? The handwriting's on the wall. You asked the Lord for a sign. What do you want? You want 2 out of 3? Right? Okay. You want to do rock, paper, scissors? Okay. Gideon did, didn't he? He sure did. All right. So look at verse 22. May I say this on Eliezer's behalf? Certainly, he wanted to make sure. Right? All of us. Okay, I think the Lord understands when you're spellbound for a moment and you need to get your breath and make sure. All right? I think the Lord understands that. Certainly, he knows that we're weak and we're frail, right? So Eliezer took his time. He's watching the camels drink water. He's gotten his thirst quenched. There's Rebecca, beautiful, young, and a virgin. And I think Eliezer said, hey, dummy, pinch yourself here. Okay? This is the real thing. And so, in verse 22, so it was when the camels had finished drinking that the man took a golden nose ring weighing 1/2 shekel and 2 bracelets for her wrist weighing 10 shekels of gold. This is pretty valuable, folks. Okay? This is not cheap. And said, whose daughter are you? Now, this is the proper thing to do. Don't know at this point how young Rebecca may have been. I didn't do my homework on that. If anybody sees a note in your Bible, just speak it out. But most girls about this age may have been 14, 15, 16, right? So we all know that you go speak to the family, right? Go ahead, Dakota. Do what? Isaac's 40 years old. Okay? But probably Rebecca is a good bit younger than him. Probably. Okay? All right? So he asked, whose daughter are you? Tell me, please, is there room in your father's house for us to lodge? Eliezer is going, he's going for the jugular, isn't he? He's going right for it. Hey, you watered me, you watered my camels. Can we come and stay with you now? Okay, wow. Being forward, right? Okay, but he wants to know, whose family do you belong to? Watch out. Here it comes. Verse 24 of chapter 24. So she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, Milcah's son, whom she bore to Nahor. Moreover, she said to him, we have both straw and feed enough and room to lodge. Then the man bowed down his head and worshiped the Lord. Lord, you hit the nail on the head. You let me strike oil the first time we drilled. Here we are. This is pay dirt. This is where I need to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. You led me to her. And she said, blessed be the Lord God of my master Abraham. He said, not she, he said, who has not forsaken his mercy and his truth toward my master. As for me, being on the way, the Lord led me to the house of my master's brethren. You've led me to my master's brother. I like that. So the young woman ran, there we go again, and told her mother's household these things. Now, I want you to understand as we take a look at verse 29, but that Bethuel is not being mentioned here. Laban is. And Laban's and Rebekah's mother is being mentioned. So there is a chance that Bethuel has already passed away. There's a chance of that. Now wait a minute. Let's go back. How old is Abraham? 140. Okay. All right. So there is a chance that Bethuel has already passed away. As a result of that, and I think you all know this, the eldest son would have become the leader of the family. And now that leader of the family has to be dealt with. And so now Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban, and Laban ran out to the man by the well because Rebekah had come and told him this story. Oh my goodness, you mean Uncle Abraham's son is here? Our cousin Isaac is here? We've heard. We've never met. No, it's Eliezer. Oh boy, what does that do to the whole story? It's not Isaac, it's not Abraham, but it's Eliezer. So let's look at verse 30. So it came to pass when he saw the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's wrist, and when he had heard the words of his sister Rebekah, saying, thus the man spoke to me, and he went to the man, and there he stood by the camels at the well. Now watch this. After Laban had seen these things, he said, come in, O blessed of the Lord. Laban, as we will follow his storyline after a while, is the deal maker. Okay? He knows how to run good deals. When he sees the gold and he hears the story, oh, come on in. Now, if there was no gold in it, if there was no jewelry in it, what would he have said? Don't know. Let's not go there. Okay? So Laban knows how to turn a buck. And he knows good gold when he sees good gold. Okay? And we'll go, like I said, we'll follow his storyline later. Come in, O blessed of the Lord. Why do you stand outside? For I have prepared the house and the place for the camels. In verse 32, when everything takes place and the feet are washed and the feet of the men who are with him. See that? In verse 32. And when they sit down for an evening meal, certainly Eliezer is tired. He's hungry. Jacob, you go camping. Do you always fry a ribeye and bake a potato and make a salad when you're out camping?
Of course.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought so. Okay. They've been eating trail mix. They've been eating jerky. Okay. Hey, listen. A good home-cooked meal would be a very fascinating thing to have. But I want you to see this. And quite frankly, this is something that violates the customs and the ways that people do things in parts of the world. They sat down to a meal. They were ready to eat. And Eliezer said, no, I can't eat. I was in Romania, and I was giving away Bibles, and a lady at a market wanted to give me something because I gave her a Bible. No, that's not my reason for being here. And she gave me a pint jar of sheep milk sour cream that had never been refrigerated. And I accepted it because I was supposed to, okay? And that night I tried to eat some of it, and it was kind of rough, okay? It was kind of rough, to say the least. Saturday, I was driving a young lady from India, and we were talking a little bit about different aspects of faith. And I asked her what temple she worshiped in and this and that, okay? And at the end of our drive, at the end of our conversation, I said, now, and I called her by her name, and I said, I have something for you. I want to give you a gift. And I said, I know your culture, and if I offer you a gift, you have to take it. And if I tell you you must read the book I give you, I know you'll give it an effort. You'll give it a try, because that's your culture. So I gave her a Bible. And she had never heard John 3:16. So I opened the Bible, and we read it together, and I gave her the Bible. I said, please begin looking at what's in this marvelous book. But I said, more people in the whole world have memorized this sentence that you're looking at than any other sentence in all of human history. It was her culture. She accepted it. When Eliezer was sitting at this meal, culture says you eat, then you talk. But Eliezer couldn't, because he had to get his mission explained to this family before going any further. Our time is about spent. So we'll leave off here, and we'll move on. Oh, we won't be together next Wednesday night. We've got a cookout with Vacation Bible School. Good? Let's hang in here you got 3 more minutes? All right, let's stay a couple more minutes. Okay, so after he told the whole episode, and by the way, when Eliezer begins to recount his mission, this is when it seems repetitive to you and I. But this is a literary device of that time that emphasized the importance of all of these things. So Eliezer, in the rest of this story, to a certain point, basically recounts everything that has happened to this family. Okay? So we're good there. But what I want to say is this. This recounting of this story still evidences a couple of things. And I want to give them to you. Ready? The first thing is this. In the account, in the commissioning, Eliezer was to deal with the woman. What happens if the woman won't come back with me? In the recounting of this, are you ready? Eliezer says this, that I thought perhaps the family would not agree. Now let me tie these two things together because they are not inconsistent. You've heard me already. This is a young lady, and she's about to go a month's traveling away to go back to be with Isaac. All right? The family had to be on board with this. So this is not inconsistent in his recapping this. Another point I want to make here is that Eliezer is recounting all of this to share with Laban, Rebekah's mother, and anybody else in the household that God was sovereignly at work. This has been God's work. There was no trick to this. I didn't stack the deck. I didn't have the bean placed under the cup. You know, there was no stacking. This is no magic trick. This is God working. And I think his recounting this was important. I believe this, that another thing that's being recounted here is Abraham's age and Abraham's wealth. And he had already given his wealth to Isaac in the recounting of this. So what Eliezer is saying is that everything that Abraham has already been given to Isaac. This guy, Isaac, is sitting pretty. And if you want your daughter here, your sister here, to have it pretty well, this is a mighty fine opportunity. You're not going to find a better opportunity. By the way, Abraham gave his wealth to Isaac before